Hello, my happy people, and welcome to What in the World. We are back again. Another month has come, and we've got so much news because things are moving so fast in this world, and it's just back-to-back news, isn't it, Dean? As per usual on What in the World.
That is quite true, yes.
I think we're going to go with the persecution of evangelists in the United Kingdom.
Behaviour is having a detrimental effect, okay, on other members of the community who make further complaints.
This is what we want. Sorry. What about freedom of speech? This is freedom of speech. They're not aggressive. You're aggressive.
I'm telling him that
Because you're harassing us. You're harassing us. We want to hear it. We want to hear it. Gilbert's hungry, so why are you here? We want to arrest us. Are you going to arrest us all? Can we not speak? Sorry. Passionate. Don't like it.
The world is going to see the persecution that is happening upon Christians in the UK.
Yes, that's right.
The world is going to see what has been happening about the suppression of the gospel.
Yes.
The world will see this, and the devil will not get away with this. The world will see this. What happened to freedom of speech?
That's right.
Is the UK a democracy, or is the UK a dictatorship?
Well, you'd have to be blind not to see it, in my opinion, because it's obvious when you see what's going on, and it's instead of it being excessively enforced, and instead of it being everyone at all times in all places and everything, it's more of a subtle thing. That's why I called it an erosion, because it's you could have houses built by a cliffside by the ocean, and of course the erosion of that landmass will take time and it will be gradual, but eventually those houses will in all probability sink into the ocean. And that's what it's happening. I think it's a slow erosion of going down, falling away from something that we had, which was great. And ironically, it's what our leader, good old Keir Starmer, said that he agrees with and wants to protect in this country. But I don't see how that's being enforced when people are being imprisoned just for speaking their mind.
The kingdom. Who would have thought it, Dean, that you're getting locked up for speech?
Yeah, go back 20 years, 30 years, and you wouldn't have dreamed of it, I guess. Have a history. I mean, Keir Starmer said about having a history of free speech. We also have a history, a long entailed history of curtailing freedom of speech. I mean, if you go back long enough, if anyone dared to speak against a king or a queen in the wrong way, it would be your head gets cut off. And we had that in this country for a very, very long time. It's only been maybe the last 200 to 300 years of our history that we've had some freedom of speech. Maybe a little bit more going back, but not for very long. When you look at the entire history of our country, it's actually a very little blip in comparison to what we've had in the past. And all the rest were, controlled speech. And if you spoke out against a raw member or a leader or anything like that, if it's anything, even if it was true and factual, it didn't matter because you're speaking against the king. You have to be persecuted, which is stupid.
So it's freedom of speech is the right to express one's ideas and opinions and information without fear of censorship or punishment, often through the means of free speech, writing and images. Can you see that bit up there? Information without fear.
Yes. Well, we don't have that, do we? Because there is a fear there. And you've only got to go online and search online for a few minutes, even on YouTube or whatever, and see there are loads of people that have just put things up on Facebook or whatever. And there comes the knock on the door and, oh, you said things we disagree with. By the way, we would like to persecute you for it. And let's take you to prison then, lad, or old lady or whoever. And I just think that's wrong on so many levels, especially if we profess that we are a country of freedom of speech.
Never thought in my lifetime I would be sitting here talking about the United Kingdom like this and the way that it is. It's really sad, really, really sad to see our country like suppressing the people, coming against the people.
I remember when Keir Starmer first got in, And one of the words he first said was,
if you don't like the changes that we've made, I say the door is open and you can leave.
Was it basically, with regards to what we're going to do, if you don't like the policies that we're going to enact and put into power, then the door's open, you can go. And I wish you'd take the door and go instead, especially when we had, I can't remember how many millions of people put a thing up online, didn't they, a little while back, saying about doing a general election, which was totally ignored, by the way, by our current government. No surprise there. They just carried on as normal anyway, despite lots of scandals. And I find it ironic because under previous administrations, we've found that a lot of them would step down under just a few scandals if they came out, if they were there, to the public media, pushed out. And yet this guy seems reluctant to let go no matter what, which is very strange to me.
Let's just put up and shut up and just do and comply. Basically.
That's the problem. Yeah.
So we're going to shift this on quickly onto this new ID cards. And I want to know your opinion about it, Dean, right now. What's your opinion on it?
When it comes down to identity and things like fraud, it has happened in the past where people have had fake passports made. They've had fake driving licenses made, fake ID cards made in the past, in multiple countries, where they could be here, it could be even in the US. My problem is, if this is linked to so many things in society that they're saying it's going to be, and there's a possibility that there can be criminal activity around this where people could be sold a fake ID on these things. It's okay, all well and good saying, oh yes, this will stop the immigration problem and working. But if they managed somehow to get a fake version of it, which looks legit enough to someone that might look at it, well then it won't actually achieve anything. And that's the problem. If the law has to be upheld, whether it's legal or illegal, and if it's so easy to dupe people by just showing a thing on a phone, I just don't see how that's going to work. So I think the claim of using this as a means to solve our problems in society is bogus at best. It's not just that. I mean, there's numerous companies that have abandoned Keir Starmer and his role on this, saying that this system won't work. And not just that, but other political leaders and groups that have condemned it, along with over 2 million people which have voted against it in terms of putting up an application online resisting it, which, similar to the one that we had before saying about the general election, I would imagine will be ignored, just like it was before, unfortunately. So I don't think that this would solve anything at all, especially when it could be faked so easily, I would imagine.
So it won't stop immigration, because that's what the whole purpose is, to stop the immigration, another overreach of power again.
Of course it is, so. It's disgraceful.
It's
how can you take extra money, where people already pay taxes up to the hilt? Everything you buy in the shop is taxed. You work to get money. That money that you get is taxed. If you're an employer and you employ people for your company, you pay taxes on them too. So absolutely everything is taxed to the hilt. And then on top of that, they're the ones which harp on about how they got a load of debt from the previous administration, and they're the ones that overspend and then want more money from people. That's offensive. That's just offensive. It's a joke. I'm sorry. I don't see how anybody could trust them to honestly think that this idea of ID cards as a result of those things and other things, if you add them all up, could ever be trustworthy. I fail to see it. It boggles my mind. I know that much.
Well said, Dean. Well said. And it boggles my mind as well, because I don't think this is going to solve the problem at all.
Yeah.
It really is. I cannot believe, and I'm going to keep saying this, the United Kingdom have come to this perilous time that we're in right now. And it's just like we're in this sort of dark hole. I don't know if you're experiencing it, that you've just gone through this. Yeah. We're in a dark tunnel.
Yeah, of course we are. Yeah.
That is where we are.
Imagine if you look back just well, just 15, 20 years and compare that to now, I think there's a stark contrast in comparison. And as you say, it does seem like we're going very much down a dark tunnel rather than a tunnel of light, so to speak. And there's light at the end of the tunnel. It seems more just darkness kind of carrying on. And you find
Tunnel.
yourself standing there scratching your head going, why are we doing this? It's another crazy idea again. Like, corruption takes many faces. It's like a mask you can wear. And in some parts of the world, it's very obvious and it stands out like a sore thumb. Oh, this is so corrupt. But in other societies, in our society, I would argue there's still probably just as much corruption. It's just you don't see it very well because it wears a suit and tie and looks very tidy.
Yeah. And it's masked so well, isn't it? It comes with a smile and goodwill,
exactly.
and but
and
really
it's
underneath
made that way on purpose because it's got to look good.
It's like branding. It's a lot to do with branding and packaging and
That's it.
Movements and come join
sell it with a smile.
That's it.
Yeah,
that is
you
exactly
can con people as long as you sell it with a smile.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what they're basically doing half the time. And I see ID cards as one of those things.
Yeah. It's gonna put us some snippets here of, if you can read that there, it says over 7,000 Christians killed in Nigeria in the first 220 days of 2025. Can you read that? Can you see that, Dean?
Yeah, I can.
And we've got here the most persecuted group.
And yet the world is ignoring this reality. Yeah, it's just got worse. And it's sad. And it's sad mostly not just because that's happening, but because there's no media coverage. There's no, I guess it doesn't fit the narrative of what a lot of news wants to push that would get the most looks or views or votes or whatever. I don't know. It just seems like it's being swept under the rug because it's not important for them right now. Because there's political ideology and principles behind it that can rile people up and get them motivated enough that they would want to watch more information on it. So that gives their company, their news thing, more looks, more views, more whatever. And that's the problem. It becomes more like a talent show than actually promoting real news. And in the meanwhile, these people are left with no information being put out about what's actually going on. Surely, if there was more coverage on things like this, there could be more things to be done to actually stop it. But there's not. You can strike us down, but the message of the cross will not fail because he did it all. It is finished. Amen. That's what he said on the cross. And Jesus, the finished work of Jesus Christ is what matters more than our own very lives. And that's why no matter how many times in history they've tried to stop us and cut us down, the message carries on going. You can't stop it because it's the truth.
Could end it on this note, actually, Dean, because this is good, because it's flowing into, you remember I read it the other day with Prophet Elijah, and he said, what God? And I serve which God? And I think Britain is in a choice they have to make on which God they're going to serve. Absolutely. What God are you going to bow down? What God are you going to worship? It's going to be Baal, or is it going to be Jesus Christ? What one are you? And I think God is really giving the British citizens
I like that.
to make a choice, to make what God, whoever's watching it, United Kingdom, you're watching, we had 400 people viewing on What in the World, and God is asking you, what God are you going to serve? You're going to serve Baal, and you can see what Baal is. You can see the Baal that wants you to bow and come under
compromise everything.
Compromise everything, or you're going to serve God who gives you freedoms. He gives you free will. He gives you choice. It gives you salvation. What God are you going to serve, England? What God are you going to bow to?
For me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Oh, guys, my lovely people, and thank you so much for joining What in the World, and thank you for keep watching. You people who have been watching this from day one, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and keep watching, and we'll just keep bringing you the news, keep bringing you Jesus Christ, and we hope you're blessed by What in the World. Is there anything you want to say to the lovely people, Dean?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, no matter what happens, however dark everything gets, focus on the light, because it's the light that's going to draw you out of the darkness. The light is the The thing that drives away the darkness, because darkness is the absence of light. Focus on Jesus. That's it.